Is it visible properly, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. This is the second presentation of this day. The paper is the 20th Century Literature World War II. My topic of this presentation is based on Animal Farm in 1984. First, we have to look upon the life of George Orwell to take some glimpse of it. His real name was Eric Arthur Blair. His belief was about politics and affected by his experiences fighting in the Spanish Civil War. He was also lived in India as a young boy and began writing at a very young age. Here, the main thing or the main concept of this presentation is about the views of George Orwell over his novels. His views on socialist, communalist are also self-serving. He also noticed that all the people who are working in the contemporary time, who are working in various ministries, are all serving by themselves. Or all the people who are serving only to their family, only to their loved ones, not to the nation. In our democracy also, these are the things which is prevailing, and we are watching it now. It is on our daily routine. George always another thing is he always felt he was an outsider and questioned any group's ideologies. Here a question arises that on which question he was asking about, or on which outsider. Here in this sentence, what is the content of outsider? Outsider means outside of the world, outside of the nation, or to belong on another nation, or outside to be on ideologies of other people or other literary content also. Here are the posters of George Orwell's two famous novels, Animal Farm and 1984. Here we can see that he always uses, or the publisher always uses, the colors which are very dark, in sense of black, red color, black color, or lightish yellow color, to dignify or to propitiate all those things which are included in the work. As we are comparing both the novels of George Orwell, the question arises that what is Animal Farm? When we hear the word Animal Farm, we imagine something which is related to shepherd, sheep, goats, and all of the animals and stuff. But here there is something unique, or there is something different in it. The main thing or the main content of the story or the novel is the story traces the deplorable conditions of the mistreated and human after by their own and the animal was changed and his from the animal farm. This is the masterpiece of George Orwell. He wanted to try here to exempt the corruption that is been working in this world, the corruption which is related in all the ministries, in all the world, in democracy, all in the whole nation in the world. He has exempted all these works which is based on corruption. And in Animal Farm also, the animals who are the owner of the farms are the head, and they are corrupted, like corrupted at that level that they can make anyone's death also. And here there is some interesting fact that although Animal Farm is a very phenomenal or spectacular act of George Orwell, yet he has to find a publisher to publish it. Now, this is a fact which is based on the struggle of George Orwell. Another thing is the question arises that what animals or why animals are there in the Animal Farm. In explaining how can we write Animal Farm, Orwell says he once saw a little boy whipping a horse and later he wrote. Here, Orwell shares his real life experience with us, that he had write Animal Farm by his inspiration to a boy who is with horse, and then he wrote. These are the main words of George Orwell. It struck me that if only such animals become aware of their strength, we should have no power of them, and that man exploits animals in same way or in such a way that rich exploits the workers. It is a universal truth that richer are getting more richer, poorer are getting more poorer, and rich people always exploit their workers who are working for them. And here also he also says that people not only in the state of their living of standard, like if they are rich or if they are poor, but human being also is exploiting the animals, which is not good at all. Here, the another novel of George Orwell is 1984. 1984 has three or four dimensions which are very important, and all the dimensions are: war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. All these things are like blindly things. No one should follow all these things. But here in 1984, these are the main themes of the novel. And the 1984 was published in 1949. Now, this is the main thing which can make us, which can make us beyond the imagination, that in the year 1949, George can imagine 55 years later thing. And the main shocking thing, or a thing which can be amazed, like any person who is reading this novel, that all the things what he write in the year 1949 is getting right in the year 1984. So it is a very deep thinking of George Orwell, we can say. Here some are the aspects that influence the poem 1980, sorry, the novel 1984, and that is: the state is called Oceania and is ruled by a group known as the Party, and its leader is the director, which is known as the Big Brother. Another thing is very important thing, which is based on the real inspiration of George Orwell, because we can say that George Orwell has terms diluted in his mind, because he had taken many more real life experiences. Although 1984 is not his autobiographical work, but he has very important inspirations from the outside world and from the people who he didn't know. So, one example, uh, that the Big Brother's inspiration, which took George Orwell to make 1984, is Joseph Stalin. Now, the question arises that who is Joseph Stalin? So, this is the poster, and I have compared the both of the Big Brother. On the right side, there is the Big Brother of the novel, and on the left side, there is the real Joseph Stalin. The poster gazed from the wall, and it depicted simply an enormous space. Now, what is enormous space? Enormous space means a space which is unknown to everyone and more a meter wide. Meter wide means it is wider from a known person or from an ordinary person. The face of the Big Brother is much wider, and the face of a man of about 45 years and with a heavy black mustache and rugged, handsome features. There is something unique features in this thing also, that how can a handsome man be can be this much of rugged, and how from to a handsome man everybody is that much of staring. So here my concern for the two brilliant novels 1984 and the Animal Farm is that he has spectacularly proposed both the novels in such a way that readers and the people who is making more inspiration from the novels and working more and more over the novel, because it is like the contemporary time we are facing all these situations which is depicted by George Orwell in the year 1949, or it is done in the year 1984. So it is very contemporary, and it is very spectacular work of him, and we can say that all the features which he has used, it is very true to the nation and to the society of this time as well. These are the references which I had took some points over, and I had also made some references which in presentation one sir had tell me to make real things, or the things which had poet or the author or the writer had made. So I had also make changes in it, and I hope you